So this video is on how to get happy slowly, how you can maintain like long-term happiness instead of chasing something that only lasts for maybe an hour or 2 hours or maybe for a day, but then you end up feeling like the whole old miserable self that you usually do. So in this video, I'm going to uncover, or we are going to uncover exactly why you are feeling the way you are feeling right now, and how you can remove a couple of habits in your life, a couple of really toxic habits in your life, with a really positive ones that kind of like change the biochemistry inside your body, so that you end up feeling happy, motivated, and fulfilled day after day, um, and actually have the motivation to go after the things you want in life without feeling the need for desperation or feeling unmotivated, basically. So let's get started. So first one would be removing negative news and content, and also people. Like, you probably right now, you probably, when you wake up, start scrolling your phone. A lot of people do. The thing with that is, when we wake up, our brain is very much like starts from a blank slate almost, and the thing we consume kind of dictates what kind of day we will have. So basically, if you wake up, you start scrolling Instagram and you start taking in like negative news through like whatever post you see, your brain will automatically start to have a negative outlook on the day you are going to have. What goes in, it's like digital diet, basically garbage in, garbage out. If you put digital garbage inside your brain, digital garbage is going to run your life, basically. So you need to completely cut out like mindless scrolling, cut out all form of negative news. Instead, take times to find positive news. You don't necessarily have to, but take time to find positive news, uplifting news that actually fills you with up with like a greater sense of happiness, a joy for life in general. That's number one. Number two, same thing with social. It's again a lot of things are with social media in this sense. If you just delete your social media, you will see a lot of improvements in your own mental health. The thing with social media is there are trade-offs to everything. If you are using social media for hours, just go look at your screen time on your phone. If you use it for more than an hour every day, or maybe even like 40 minutes, that adds up to a lot of time. I know a lot of people that have like that use social media for 8 hours, up to 8 hours. Like, that is crazy. 8 hours every day, 8 hours every day for a month straight. How many is that? 240 hours. That is crazy. Like, for a year, it adds up. It's a crazy amount to be taking, like, mindlessly scrolling for hours on that. The thing is, like, once you start doing that, all the bad habits actually stem from social media itself. Because the thing is, we constantly get a feedback, get a kind of flow of negative news, negative things, or like anything, or maybe you are just there to watch memes. Maybe that is your argument for keeping it, that is making you happy. But just understand, when you are watching memes on Instagram or whatever that is, you are getting dopamine for free. You are getting dopamine without even working for it. you know you can just open up your app and you can get some dopamine just by scrolling through it. It's so crazy. Like, you are training your brain to actually get dopamine without even working for it. What that means is, like, your brain will disassociate working with dopamine. That means working itself, like the hard work, whatever you are trying to do, will actually not feel that great, not feel as great as, like, because, like, you are basically doing nothing to get that dopamine. And once you start working, you are actually putting in work, you are going against friction. Your brain is gonna think this is too hard. Let's go back to scrolling on Instagram because that is much more fun. I'm just using an example of Instagram. It could be TikTok, YouTube, whatever that is for you, Facebook, Twitter. Remove the social media, and it will not happen eventually. That is why the title of the video is how to get happy slowly. It will take time for your brain to rewire itself back again, so that you can actually start to enjoy the hard stuff again. Once you do that, like, completely remove and delete, just try it out for a month. uh, for a month, disable your social media account, see what happens. If you have friends that you contact, bring them over to iMessages or WhatsApp. somewhere there where there isn't like extra content going through, and talk to them there or just call them up. It is just that easy. You also don't need constant digital connection. You can have face-to-face connection that is much more better than having a digital connection. Second thing is constant comparison that also stems from social media. Like I said, if you go ahead and scroll Instagram, and a lot of posts from your friends will pop up, stories, posts, and you will, once you see them, it might make you like, there are two routes you can go. You will feel good for them, or you will feel bad for yourself, or both can happen. You will feel good for them, but you feel bad for yourself because you are not achieving the same things they are. And what that makes you is, that makes you generally unhappy, because the thing is, everyone has different paths in life. Okay, maybe someone got a head start because they started earlier than you. Maybe someone is got in the right place at the right time. I'm not saying everyone got lucky, by no means. Maybe they, like, it is very much like most of the cases they did the hard work that is needed to get successful. And since you are comparing them to yourself, you are creating space for unhappiness to exist. Basically, you're choosing to be unhappy by the comparison. The only person that you should compare yourself to is yourself, is who you were yesterday, what you did yesterday. Did you improve, even if it's like 1% compared to who you were yesterday? Is that like, compare yourself to yourself, yourself to yourself in the past. Otherwise you are only setting yourself up for kind of failure and mental failure. Number three, kind of related, remove self-attack. A lot of people have unnecessary self-attack. I did for a long period of time. I removed that uh, constant comparison thing, but I still had that self-attack, in the sense like, if I was not improving as much as I wanted to, even if it's like a weekly or monthly basis, right? I used to attack myself constantly, like, I'm not worthy, I'm not doing good enough, and this, that. It was such a mental attack, like a war between me and myself, basically, that made me generally unhappy. And the thing is, once I stopped doing that, it is a choice, you are self-attacking yourself out of a choice. Once you understand that, once you stop making that choice, you will have a much more general mood, much more better mood in general. You will have a much more better life. You will feel so much more better, because you will not have this constant battle within yourself of self-attack. Self-attack is negative by itself. It doesn't help you. Yes, you might feel motivated by attacking yourself and pushing yourself, like, by basically like beating yourself up, but that motivation is very negative, and it harms your mental health in the long run. What would be better, coming from a place of desperation, or coming from a place of inspiration where you actually want to do it? Or like, what would be better, coming from going towards pleasure, or running away from pain? That is the two modes our brain operates in. You could run a kilometer because you genuinely want to, you know uh, improve your health, or you could run a kilometer because a dog is chasing you. Which one? I mean, the dog is chasing you would be fun to run with, but eventually the dog will bite you, and you will end up feeling much more pain. But the thing is, like, if you just run because you want to run, and you build that way, you build up your willpower, your sense of self-worth, because you are doing hard things. You are doing it from a place of self-love. That will be much more better than actually, doing it from a place of self-attack. The next one, and this is the biggest reason why I had to label this whole video, how to get rich, how to get rich, how to get happy slowly. And the whole reason is that you have to remove a lot of, like, substances that you insert in your body right now, which is caffeine and nicotine. You could try out nicotine moderately. Even caffeine, like, moderately. Yeah, if you're taking, like, let's say 100 grams every other day or something like that, it should be fine generally. But the thing is, like, all of these two, like, drugs actually bring you down more than it brings you up. It, like, fucks with your biochemistry, in the sense, like, it fucks with your mood, it fucks with your general sense of well-being, and it's like moves you out of the normal range in certain cases. And the thing uh, about our emotions is, it's like a pendulum. Okay, it's a pendulum, it swings. If you, like, for normal people it swings like this, but if you take, like, caffeine or nicotine, it will start swinging a little bit more. So the more pleasure you feel, the more pain you're bound to feel. That is how it works. I think the good book I used to read is like Dopamine Detox or Nation of Dopamine or something like that. Nation of Detox. I don't remember. I will probably list out in the description if I find it. But that was where I got the analogy of this whole thing. But yeah, cut out caffeine or nicotine or just tamper it down as much as you can. It is not going to be easy by no means. If you have been addicted to caffeine or nicotine for a long time, it's going to take at least a month, and it will feel horrible for a lot of people. It will feel horrible. But after a month, you will see like so much improved. Like your would have improved so much. Your mood will improve. Your general energy levels will improve. You will feel much more motivated on a day-to-day basis, and you will not need any outside substance like caffeine to pump yourself up. Mm, I completely run free of caffeine and nicotine, and so much more better for me because I am completely motivated every fucking day to get work done. I feel really happy. I feel generally fulfilled no matter what is going on in outside of my life. My mood levels are along the baseline, and that makes me much more fulfilled in the long run. The next thing is cultivate compassion for yourself and others around you. This is uh, this is almost like self attack. Once you remove self attack, you have to cultivate self love. It comes naturally, but you still have to cultivate it. In the sense, like, treat yourself as if you would treat your best friend or your loved ones. You know, if you did some mistake, if you end up falling out of a good habit or end up falling for a bad habit, have compassion for yourself. Don't beat yourself up. Like, be tough on yourself, but don't beat yourself up. There is a difference. Once you learn how to do that, once you learn how to manage that, you will be able to tackle the obstacles in your life much more seamlessly without feeling bad about it. And that is very important. The next thing is push yourself mentally and physically. Now, this is something I learned from a mentor recently. There are two ways to get wiser, or two ways to reach enlightenment. There's just one is sitting in a cave for 40 years, another one is taking action. Now you know which one you are going down, right? You are not going to reach, if you are a young person, especially if you are in your 20s, you are not going to reach enlightenment by just pondering on the limited life experience you have in a cave for 40 years. That is not going to happen. You learn by taking action. And the thing about taking action is the more you push yourself mentally, physically, take challenges, things that make you like uncomfortable. The more you do that, the more you push your brains like mental powers, and that will improve the sense of like self-worth you have. And the more self-worth, more self-respect you have for yourself, the better you feel on a day-to-day basis, the happier you feel. Okay, there's no downside to this at all. The only downside is the pain you feel when you push through the discomfort. But once you get to the other side, you will feel so much more better for the longer time period. So that is why it is very important that you constantly push yourself mentally and physically. Don't get comfortable, don't stay in your comfort zone. That will kill your life. You are either growing or you're dying. You have to make the choice of actively make the choice of growing, otherwise you are going to die slowly. um, get your dopamine levels to a baseline. Andrew Huberman is a good resource on this. But yeah, if you cut out your social media, if you stop taking any sorts of like unnecessary digital junk which doesn't help your life, like actually add anything essential to your life, if you go out and get sunlight more, if you work out properly, if you get the right diet, if you cut out sugar, refined carbs, any kind of processed food that makes you feel addicted without giving you any additional nutrients. um, to cut out memes is very important to cut out. It is very important because in the sense like it gives you dopamine. Like I said, it gives you dopamine without any doing any of the real work. It feels good in the short term, but it is actually ends up wasting your time and fucks with your dopamine levels. The next thing is shows. Don't just binge watch shows, because that is like same thing as scrolling, like mindlessly scrolling on social media. You are getting dopamine for free. Unnatural, do not do it. Songs, you can moderately listen to songs, that is completely fine, but you end up, if you end up listening to songs like your whole day, like I have my cook, okay, my cook comes whenever he comes, he has a song playing all the time. That dude has completely fucked up his dopamine baselines. He cannot sit still without actually listening to something, and that is like, so bad, because like if you need something external to feel good, that means you are not feeling good in the first place. And the last habit is cultivate gratitude. Now there have been like studies that shows like gratitude, actually when you start cultivating, actually gratitude and prayer both, once you start doing those on a frequent regular basis, your brain releases certain like chemicals that actually end up making you feel better. And this, I'm going to include a secret bonus tip that will completely change how you feel in hard stressful situations. If you feel anxiety, start practicing gratitude. Gratitude is the polar opposite of anxiety. It's Anxiety is worrying about future. Gratitude is feeling good about your past. It's the complete opposite. Feeling good about your past or like your present moment. And once you start doing that, once you start cultivating gratitude, once your brain releases the right chemicals, once you start doing that, your anxiety will start to melt away completely. You will see some noticeable differences once you do it for a certain amount of time. And gratitude is a really good tool in the sense that it will help you cultivate a general sense of happiness, satisfaction, and fulfillment in your life, no matter what kind of situations you are going through. And that will make you feel, that will also end up making you feel so much more motivated. But yeah, that is the gist of the whole video. Remove social media, remove all the negative stuff that you are consuming in your digital diet. uh, Remove comparison, constant comparison with anything external, anyone external. Remove self attack, stop attacking yourself. You should be the best person, you should be a best friend to yourself. Number four is actually remove caffeine and nicotine. You can do those moderately, but don't let those control your general levels of happiness and motivation. Once you taper those down for a month, you will see significant changes in your day to day motivation, mood, and anxiety levels. Number five, push yourself. It's cultivate compassion for yourself and others around you. Same thing with like opposite of self attack. Cultivate self love and actually give out love. If you want to receive love, do acts of good around you, and you will generally feel much more satisfied with your life. Number six, push yourself mentally and physically. Actually, exhaust yourself at the end of the day. Do hard work every day. Push yourself. Fall in love with hard work. That is something you can definitely do no matter what kind of job you are doing. Live in the present moment. Find something fun to do in the work you are doing. Enjoy it, and it will make your life much more fulfilled, much more happier in general. Number seven, get your dopamine levels to a baseline. Stop any unnatural sources of dopamine, sugar, caffeine, refined carbs, ultra processed foods, memes, shows, and songs. Number eight, cultivate gratitude. Very powerful tool. You might not see any benefits in the first few days, but once you do it for a month, you will start to see some real changes in how you feel on a day-to-day basis. It only takes a few minutes every day, maybe a minute or two, to sit down. Be grateful, say it out loud. Be grateful for what you have or what has happened to you so far, and be hopeful for the future. And just by doing those eight things, your life will completely change in, let's say you do it for 30 days. Your life will completely change in how you end up feeling from today onwards to after 30 days. You'll feel much more happier, much more motivated, much more grateful for what you have. It will make you a better, a happier person in general. Much more fun to be around. People will want to be around because you exude the level of happiness that they themselves want in themselves too. That is very important in personal relationships and anything else, actually anything. But yeah, let me know if you think what you think of the video. If you like, subscribe, share the video with someone that would find this valuable, and I will see you in the next video. Peace.